What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day to listen to me. I really hope I can bring you some value with this video. If I do, make sure to subscribe, like the video, of course, and let's talk about why the hell you're so hungry on your diet. Now, the first and main reason you're so hungry on your freaking diet is because you're eating too little calories. You're in a way too big of a calorie deficit. This is so common. People want to lose weight so fast. I get messages, oh my God, what's the fastest way to lose weight? You don't want to do it fast. See how I said weight loss? It's not just fat loss. You're going to end up losing more muscle if you're in a bigger deficit. We want to optimize for fat loss, and you do that by being in a smaller deficit. Not too small, not too big, just the 300 to 500 calories below your maintenance is what I would recommend. That's a good rate of weight loss per week. If you're eating like 500 calories less per day for 7 days, on average, that's 1 pound of fat loss a week. Now, you can get away with bigger deficits when you're more overweight, but when you're at like a normal body fat percentage, just cutting to get leaner, I just stick with a 500 calorie deficit roughly. Any larger than that, you're probably going to be a little hungry, too hungry, and risk more muscle loss. That's not what we want. You want to optimize for fat loss. And if you're cutting calories and you're in this massive deficit, it's going to be unsustainable. You might do it for 3 weeks, lose a ton of weight, probably some muscle, a ton of weight, and what are you going to do after that? Gain the weight back because you're starving. You're so deprived of calories. You're going to gain all the weight back in a week. You don't want that. That's why people fail their diet, because they eat way too little calories. They crash diet, and then the week later they just are like, oh my God, my diet's over, let me stuff my face again, and they gain all the way back. So you need to do this slow and sustainably, and you're going to keep your muscle and make sure you keep the weight off after. Now, the second reason you're so hungry on your diet is because of your food choices. You're eating very high calorie, non-voluminous foods like chips, ice cream, like from Ben and Jerry's. You're eating that kind of stuff to make your calorie deficit. Yes, you're still going to lose weight. You're going to be starving. You're going to be so hungry. That's not food that fills you up. Like I said, I always preach balance, and you can fit that stuff in, but the majority of your diet should not consist of that, or you're just going to be extremely hungry throughout the day. When have you ever been filled up from a bag of chips? Yeah, you haven't, okay? You haven't been filled up by a bag of chips. If you have, I don't know what to say, you're fucked. But you need to eat food that really fills you up. I've already talked about this in a ton of videos. I always recommend eating low-calorie, high-volume foods. That's what's going to keep you full throughout your diet. Third reason why you're so hungry in your diet: you are not eating high-protein foods, and you're not getting enough fiber and water. And these are 3 things that are going to keep you more full throughout the day. More protein, you're going to be more full. Protein is the most filling macronutrient. More fiber, it's probably going to take up more room in your stomach, and it's going to fill you up a lot more. More water takes up more room in your stomach, and it's going to keep you fuller. So have a high protein diet, high fiber diet to a certain extent, and a lot of water is going to keep you a lot more full. You should be getting in tons of protein anyway. 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein is what I usually recommend. That's plenty. And get your veggies in, your fruits, get lots of fiber in it, and it's going to keep you a lot more full. Again, it ties into the food choices one. You need to make proper food choices. Just because you can do something and you can lose weight on chips and donuts doesn't mean you should. Fourth thing, and this is not as common, but some people perform extreme intermittent fasting, extreme levels of intermittent fasting. And for some people, they can really stick to it. Like I did it for myself, my first cut I ever did, and I stuck to it decently well. But for some people, it makes them so hungry, they end up binge eating at night. So it's supposed to be used as a tool to eat less calories because you have less time to eat, so you're more likely to eat less. But for some people, they get extremely hungry and they binge all night. So if this is you, please do not do that. You're just making yourself extremely hungry. Intermittent fasting doesn't work with you. You know, it's not some magical thing. It's just a tool that some people use to help create a calorie deficit. Some people it just doesn't work well with, and that might be you. So just watch out if you're getting extremely hungry when you're fasting. Probably not for you. And the 5th thing, you're not actually full, but you think you are because you're bored. Okay, if you're bored all day, not doing shit, not working, nothing, you're gonna be snacking a lot more. It's just I do this when I'm bored. I just want to eat something. Just keep busy, right? A lot of people do that. You probably find yourself doing that. So if you stay busy, and you're gonna realize you're not actually that hungry. You just think you are, okay? So if you're like craving food all the time, are you doing anything throughout the day? Make sure you're doing something. If you're busy, it's gonna be a lot harder to overeat your calories. If you're just sitting there watching TV all day, yeah, you're probably gonna feel hungry when you're not actually, because you're just bored as shit. Now, I want you to realize a little hunger is kind of inevitable when you're in a calorie deficit. You're giving your body less energy than it actually needs. So you're gonna be slightly hungry, but if you do it properly, you follow those 5 tips, you're probably not gonna be starving. You shouldn't be starving anyway, unless your appetite's just crazy, but you should not be starving. If you are, you're probably messing up one of the 5 things I already mentioned, and you just need to dial it back and actually take a look at your fucking diet, because you shouldn't be starving unless you're like 5% body fat, have been dieting for months on end. I cut, for example, for 6 months, and I was never starving. I was a bit hungry at the end, but I was not starving like out of my mind, and I got to pretty lean levels. So you should never be starving. If you are, reevaluate your diet. Hope I gave you guys some value out of this. If you liked it, give it a like, of course. Make sure you subscribe. Comment down what you want me to make a video on, or something you're really confused about, and I'm gonna try and answer it and maybe make a series out of it. That's what I'm looking to do. So thanks guys, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.